Hello everybody, and welcome back to Certified Collectibles. Today we're going to be taking a look at a really cool group of CGC certified comics. Now, comic book collecting, more so than some of the other collecting categories, really lends itself well to subset or niche collecting. We have guys that have been collecting with us for years that either collect, Silver Age keys, or only Superman comics, or good girl art covers from the Golden Age, or books that have been banned, or recalled by the publishers, or books that have been featured in Seduction of the Innocent, SOTI covers as they're known. So today we're going to take a look at one of those subsets, one of those niches of collecting, and that is controversial comics. Now there's a whole group of collectors that only pick up the controversial comic issues, so hopefully you guys will find this entertaining. If you've been collecting in this category for a while, maybe you'll see some in today's video you didn't know about, or you didn't have in your collection, or if you're new to this category or didn't know about this category at all, maybe this is something you are interested in adding to your collection as well. So we picked out 5 covers to show you guys, all high grade, mostly all 9/8, and all these are going to be very affordable, $300 or less. So very affordable to add to your collection. Some of these very, very low population in 9/8 or high grade. So some of these low population, low print runs, very cool comics to add, all controversial in some fashion. So let's go ahead and get started. We picked out 5 covers. Let's show you guys in the order of release to the public. Our first book is New Guardians number 2, released in 1988 by DC Comics. Now this is the first appearance of Snowflame, a cocaine-powered supervillain. You could probably figure why this is controversial. Marketing comics to children and young adults, you probably do not want to feature a villain that gets his superpowers from snorting cocaine. Now, one of the quotes from this character in the book is, "Cocaine is my god, and I am the human instrument of its will." Clearly, easy to see why this was controversial. This character was short-lived, only existed in 1 or 2 issues back in the 80s. He was reintroduced in 2020 in Catwoman. I think Catwoman number 23 brought him back, I think only for that issue. So very controversial issue, but in 9/8, this is very tough to find. I think there's only 27 of these in 9/8, so a very low population in 9/8. Once again, very affordable though, only about $250 in 9/8. So this is one you can add to your collection if you are collecting in this niche and you want to get into this niche. This is a first appearance comic, and one they did try to bring back, a character they tried to bring back in 2020. So this may be important, but it's important if you're a controversial comic book collector, because this is, like I said, a first appearance, the first cocaine-powered supervillain, one of the first controversial comics of or one of the most notorious controversial comics of the 80s. So one you want to pick up and add to your collection. A very interesting villain, probably one of the most bizarre cocaine-powered supervillain, Snowflame. Book number 1. Let's take a look at what we have for number 2. Second book in today's list. Sensational She Hulk number 40, released in 1992 by Marvel Comics. Now this is a controversial comic that depicts She-Hulk jump roping naked for the first several pages. Once again, a book that is traditionally marketed to children and young adults. Probably you do not want to feature a naked woman jumping rope. But Marvel decided to do that in 1992, and so you have this controversial issue. This one here is jumping in price because Disney Plus is airing the new She-Hulk miniseries on the Disney Plus channel starting in 2022. So next year, they're going to start airing that. But the trailer's already cut. It's already available for viewing online. So this is one that probably is going to increase in price. We've seen a lot of the She-Hulk titles start to increase in price. But once again, this is one you could pick up for $250 last year. It's probably going to cost you $300 today, $350. But in 9/8 like this, there are 151 of them. So not as scarce as the one we just showed you, but 151, population 151 in 9/8 for a book from the 90s is not a high population, especially with the popularity in She-Hulk on the rise. And once the Disney Plus show airs in 2022, we do expect these to rise in value. So controversial, naked She-Hulk, this one here, one to add to your list. And book number 3. Green Lantern number 54, released in 1994 by DC Comics. Now this is a controversial issue which features Major Force murdering and dismembering Green Lantern's girlfriend, Alexandra DeWitt, and hiding her remains in his refrigerator for him to find. Now this is not only a controversial comic, but it also coined the phrase, or helped coin the phrase, fridging. If you're not familiar with that phrase, that refers to fictional works where a female character is either murdered or severely injured for the sole purpose of furthering or motivating the male characters in the story. So if you ever heard the term fridging, this is the comic book, or this is the source for that particular term. That's where this term came from, because Alexander DeWitt was dismembered and put in the refrigerator for Green Lantern to find, really just to further the Green Lantern storyline and his particular story arc. So that is why that term exists in pop culture or in society. But anyway, this is a controversial comic, very low population. As you see, this is a CGC 8.5. We don't usually carry anything this low, but there are only 16 books in 8.5 or higher. This is 8.5, there's 3 in 8.5, and 13 higher. So there's only a handful of 9/8s. But that being said, very, very affordable book. You can pick up a 9/8 in this for $100 or less. Very, very affordable. An 8.5 should cost you under $100, in the $50, $60 range. Cool book to have in your collection, just due to the cultural impact. Like I said, the term, the fridging, was coined because of this particular comic book. And it's a very low population book. Once again, a book from the mid-90s, controversial, one you might want to add to your collection for the cultural impact alone. Green Lantern. Okay, our fourth book in today's video. Action Comics number 869, published in 2008 by DC Comics. This was controversial and recalled due to the beer label on the cover. As you can see, Clark Kent is drinking a beer on the front. This was recalled and reissued with new artwork with Clark Kent drinking a soda pop. Now, this is one of the more popular and well-known of the controversial issues, and it's also one of the recalled issues. So collectors that are collecting in the recalled category and the controversial category are after this book. So this is one that's going to be the highest priced on our group today. This is about $350 for a 9/8 like this. But in 9/8, there's 240 of these that exist in 9.8. So you should be able to find them on the market. Once again, probably in the $325, $350 range. It is going to be a higher price one just due to its popularity and the fact that you have Clark Kent drinking a beer, which in itself, not controversial at all. He is a grown man, but marketing these to children and young adults, you probably do not want to see superheroes drinking beer on the front cover. So a really cool book to add, really popular with a lot of different collecting categories. So this one here, really cool book, one you do expect to pay up for. If you do want to add this one here to your collection, it is going to cost you about $350. And finally, our fifth book. Our fifth and last book of the day is Savage Dragon, number 233, released in 2018 by Image Comics. Now this is the controversial Bald is Beautiful cover. This is a pretty well-known cover, but it was controversial upon solicitation, which is why retailers only ordered 4,264 of these. Very low print run, only about 4,000 hit the shelves, and of those, only 17 exist in CGC 9.8 like this one. Very low population, 9.8, very low print run at about 4,200. So this one's going to be tougher to find, but still very, very affordable. A 9.8, if you can find one, should only cost you about $150 to add to your collection. Now this, like I said, controversial cover, but pretty well known. The Savage Dragon franchise goes up and down in popularity. So in today's market, it's $150 for a 9.8. Who knows, maybe next year it'll be lower or higher. But the Savage Dragon character, the Savage Dragon franchise, does fluctuate over the years. So right now it's not tremendously hot, but if they do something with that franchise in film or TV, you can expect these to start popping in price. Right now, very affordable. Cool controversial comic to add to your collection. So there you go with our selection of some controversial comics. If you guys have your own suggestions, please drop us some comments in the comment section below. Also let us know what you guys think of this video. If you guys are actually collecting in this category, we'd love to hear about it as well. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. And as always, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for joining us here at Certified Collectibles, and we'll see you again next time.